like Dan was saying there, it does last around 10 races, where which I think is a big advantage really, because obviously in a real speedway bike you are having to refuel it after every 4 or 5 laps, where obviously with these lasting a lot longer, that also could relive some of the old kind of racing styles where we had the 10 lap races and the 20 lap races from back in the day. I think would be absolutely fantastic to see that reincorporated back in the sport using these e-speedway bikes, and I think it's something we could really build on, and I think is another massive advantage into bringing e-speedway to the UK.
It really is, and to be fair, it's got the right people around it as well to actually bring it up to a good standard to where it could potentially take off. I mean, I understand in Denmark, I believe it is, like these e-bikes are going up against the petrol bikes on the regular, especially in like the youth classes. So we're trialling it out here today, but if it takes off really well, I could see it being a predominant future, especially in like these amateur meetings.
Definitely, and as I say, it'll be good to see him putting up a show against the petrol bikes, because a lot of people that are for some reason against the e-speedway bikes, a lot of people are thinking it's because it'll be behind that power curve, where I think hopefully today will prove that it's not behind the power curve at all, and can actually be quite a fair bit quicker than the petrol bikes. They're fantastic to watch, because obviously it's something that I'm sure has been wanting to be incorporated in a long time. We've seen it with the cars, and a lot of people have said they'd like to see it in e-speedway bike, so to be able to see it now brought out as a full product and be super successful, hopefully, I think is brilliant. And I'm sure hopefully in the next couple of years we'll see full e-speedway meetings, which I'm sure will be in the plans, I'm sure, for the future, as we kick this off with the e-speedway bikes for the very first time.
So coming up to tapes now is heat number 14. We've got an e-speedway bike out here actually in heat 14 in the form of Seth Norman in white. Seth Norman, one of the Leicester mascots. Obviously he's against 3 petrol bikes in Harry Fletcher riding in red, Ollie Binns in blue, and young Ryan Ingram in white. Ryan Ingram's a name we've got to look out for the future. He's certainly been very impressive, especially around this Eddie Wright Raceway over the course of the winter. So as Ryan makes his way up to the tapes wearing Michael Pantoff's Kevlar's nonetheless, rides out under starters orders as Richard walks away. And away we go, and here we go for heat number 14. It's a good start there for the rider in blue. That is Ollie Binns, chased by Ryan Ingram in the yellow helmet colour, with Seth Norman now on the e-bike coming up the inside there of Ryan Ingram, putting some pressure on Ollie Binns out front. It is Seth Norman on the e-bike that takes the lead. This is groundbreaking stuff. You could be about to witness the first e-speedway bike heat win in the UK on here. But it is still Ollie Binns and Ryan Ingram's battling it out for second and third. But Seth Norman on the e-bike, he looked very impressive yesterday, winning this one quite comfortably now, and it is Ryan Ingram there in the second position, looking really good as they go to one more lap to go then. The last lap of heat number 14. That is Seth Norman on the e-bike. He looked really impressive, as I said, on him yesterday. These guys are really fast, these bikes. And 85cc, and he's got a beaten 3 125 bikes. That was a win there for Seth Norman on the electric bike. Groundbreaking stuff here happening at Scunthorpe Speedway today. So Graham sends his apologies as we go to heat number 22, which is the 125 150 Open. Again in red we've got Seth Norman on that electric bike. In blue that is Ryan Ingram. In white that is Kasper Kuzniak. And in yellow that is Oliver Boftington. So heat number 22. Richard walks away as the tape's rising. It's a good start for the rider with blue. That is Ryan Ingram. Ingram has that lead then with Kasper Kuziak and Oliver Bobsington in second and third. Seth Norman struggling a little bit here, but it's Ryan Ingram that prevents Seth Norman up the inside of the lot. We're in heat number 22 on the e-bike. The e-bike again prevailing this afternoon. Ryan Ingram giving chase to Seth Norman, but look at the speed though on the e-speedway bike. These guys are really quick for 85cc's. These are absolutely smoking the 125 bikes here this afternoon. Ryan Ingram there in the second place. Kasper Kuziak staying in the third place. Oliver Bobsington won his race last time out, struggling a little bit this time. But Seth Norman there out front on the e-speedway bike is pulling one hell of a lead over Ryan Ingram. Ryan Ingram's been pretty good around here this winter.
I'll tell you something, Seth is riding the absolute bones off of that e-speedway bike right now. Look at the lead he's gained. Into the final lap they go. He's almost half a lap in front once again. The style he's managing to pull off on that e-speedway bike as well. He can flick it out, lean it into the corner, and look at that. He's brilliant heading into 3 and 4 for the final time. It's going to be 2 on the spin for Seth as he takes the checkered flag in this one once again. And the e-speedway bikes, they're looking unmatched at the moment, Dan.
Of the 4 races they've had, that's 3 wins for the e-speedway bikes. You know, so obviously they are proving to be really good in a really good sustainable way. And looking at this, the e-speedway bikes really are the future of British Speedway.
They really are, and I'll tell you something, they look a lot quicker than I'm sure a lot of people was anticipating here. The lead they are building up as soon as they get ahead, they let the throttle out and that's it, they're gone, you're not catching them. At the moment, the e-speedway bikes look absolutely fantastic.
So again, guys, a massive thank you to Paul Bowen, and again a massive shout out to Bowen Pies. Get your pies from Paul Bowen because they are top tier pies. And yeah, you know, the e-speedway is coming on, it's coming on really well, and we've got an e-speedway bike out actually now in heat number 30 as Seth Norman's coming out now in the yellow helmet colour. Yeah, we've got Seth.
Take it away, this is all you want.
We'll give the commentary duties to Paul for this one because his throat's a little bit sore. So, Paul, the bike is yours.
Well, you're gonna have to let me know who's actually out in this. Obviously, I've got my man Seth. So we got. Oh, well, we only need to know about Seth because you can just see there as well. A lot of people were worried about the electric not being an advantage off the start, but you can just see with Seth there, he actually takes a little bit going, but once look at him sliding, absolutely fantastic. You can see there that is more represents a speedway bike than the 125s. You know, you can see he's very smooth control. You know, he's not having that bobble. You can just see now he's powering out the corner compared to the motorbike. It's just a little bit more stable. He's making a good move up the inside here. Looks really tidy there. Look at that. Is he going to do him? He's done him. Absolutely fantastic riding there by Seth. My man on the e-speedway bike looking really controlled. Really close racing. And like I said, a lot of people were worried about if it was too fast. But I personally think that's a good match. And also, like I said, the riding position of Seth there is more like a speedway bike, like a 500 than these 125s. So for learning the body positioning, you can see how Seth's getting really flowy on that bike. It represents the 500cc more than the 125s currently, and you can see now he's really starting to come into his own. He's going to take the checkered flag, and that's another great win for Seth there and the E-Racing. So very good riding there. Like I said, you could see his riding style was so good, and he's trying to wheelie there as well. Represents the 500 more than I would say the 125s.
I know last year we used the term Douglas Drive quite a lot, but they are using Ryan's line like just coming around the outside of bend 2 and just straight right up. It's really good technique to have, to be fair.
It's the technique I use on Speedway Challenge.
And well, we've got heat number 39 and we've got another e-bike, so shout out again to Dom for pointing it out. Seth doesn't look too happy pointing his fingers.
Can I just say as well here with Seth, as it stands at the moment, the man in blue, Seth, on the e-speedway bike is unbeaten. could we see not only the first E-Speedway bike wins, but the first ever E-Speedway bike maximum today here at the Eddie Wright Raceway? It is a possibility as the tapes do fly. He hasn't made the start, Seth, at the moment, but just remember and watch this for the straight line speed as he straightens it out here and fires himself into that second place as he's neck and neck with the person in yellow at the moment, but he leans the bike in, and it's brilliant as he's got that speed and now is going to set his sights on that first place.
Yeah, he really is. Obviously, the rider in red, Ollie Beans, been a little bit unfortunate today, but Seth Norman coming around the outside. It's not quite worked for him just yet, but Seth's going to try the inside run now. But these e-bikes producing some really good racing here. That is the rider in yellow, Kasper Kuljnak in third. Obviously, Ryan Ingram struggling a little bit at the back in this one, but just Seth going really. If Seth ends up going any rider, he's just going to end up in Doncaster, isn't he? But he's. But to be fair, the defence from Ollie in red is quite phenomenal, and Seth's just going to keep putting him under as much pressure as he possibly can.
Yeah, Ollie's done extremely well here. He's been under pressure from Seth all race, but he's defended that absolutely fantastically. A bit of competition for the e-bike there. Seth, maybe a bit of commentator's curse with the maximum shouts, but Ollie is absolutely smashed defending away from Seth. I'm sure they'll have a shake of a hand and say well done there, because I'll tell you something, that was brilliant to see both the guys out there giving it rock all, throwing the bike at each other. But, you know, E-Speedway bike versus petrol bike, that was more like it. A nice, close, evenly matched contest. But that was very quick once again, Dan. Lovely and quick out in the front of that one.
Ollie Bins, Kasper Kuljnak and Ryan Ingram. It looks like Seth's gone for the yellow helmet colour. There's that e-bike again. Nice looking at it. Ollie Bins there in the red, Kasper in the blue, leaving Ryan in the white helmet. Richard, mate, you're slacking. I'd have had both of them tapes down by now. Them tapes. That's a new name for them. Might have to go on the back of the whiteboard now, those specs. You know, that is a really cool way of writing a P. Never known anyone to write it like that before. Oh yeah. Oh, I forgot the mic was on there, so people may have just literally heard our whole conversation of how P's are wrote and how Spencer holds pens.
I always struggled to learn to write as a kid. Like, I could talk for England, but writing was never my strong point. No, that's why I struggled to fill programmes in.
That's why you've got me.
That's what I mean. I'm terrible with filling programmes in, so thank God I've got him at the side. But that's why we've got him here, because he's good at that.
I'm good at something.
Exactly. So, but yeah, right, it's just never been my strong point.
Okay, so here we go then for race number 56. The Youth 125 Open A final. It's a good start there from young Ollie Bins there out front, being put under immense pressure by Ryan Ingram. Ryan going to try use that inside line that Kasper Kuljnak's riding it almost through your best as they go into the home straight, but it's still Ollie Bins that has that lead. Ryan Ingram pushing now Ollie all the way. I know how much Ryan loves the trophy. He's not going to want a second place one today. He's going to want that first place trophy, and he's going to push Ollie Bins all the way whilst also trying to defend Kasper Kuljnak. Seth Norman, no, he's pushing Ryan now as he went up the inside of Ryan. Great ride there from young Seth Norman on the e-bike. It's not too late, you know, for Seth to go for the first place. Seth's got the speed. Can he do it? It's all on Seth's shoulders to bring the trophy back to the E-Speedway boys with one lap left to go. Ollie Bins in. He has this fight. He has this lead in the at the moment. But going down the back straight now for one final time. Ollie's got just a little bit more speed than Seth. Seth's going to try the outside run. Can he get there? Not quite, and it's a win for Ollie Bins, who wins that class. Second place was Seth Norman.
Got to shout Seth Norman out there. Fantastic to go from last to second, and a brilliant, brilliant ride. Not quite enough to get himself to the front of the pack, but steamed through into second within a couple corners. Really showing that style and class on the E-Speedway bike today. Not only showing off the E-Speedway bike, but showing off what a talent he could be, Seth Norman. And if he carries on riding like that, I'm sure he's going to have a very, very promising future ahead in British Speedway.
Yeah, you know, to be fair, all the e-bikes have been really, really good today, haven't they? And they've been great value for entertainment. And, you know, I can't see why we can't have classes full of e-bikes. Obviously, there's Paul Boy going and Seth trying to do a bit of a turn out there. The only problem I have with the e-bikes is riders struggle to wheelie them.
He's on the young. I'm sure he'll learn to be wheelie good.